Hello all, Phlebotomy EDU 360 brings you an informative video cast on how to become a phlebotomist. Phlebotomy is the procedure of drawing blood from the human body via venipuncture and or dermal puncture. Venipuncture being the act of drawing blood from a patient's vein, and dermal puncture being the act of drawing blood from a patient's skin without vein penetration. A common example of venipuncture is blood drawn from the inside of the arm, near the elbow, providing a large source of blood, while a common example of dermal puncture is blood drawn via the finger and or thumb. This only gives a number of blood drops. Phlebotomy is needed for multiple purposes. The more popular uses for phlebotomy include clinical testing, medical testing, blood transfusions, donations, and research. The professionals who practice phlebotomy are called phlebotomists. Accordingly, phlebotomists are the people who actually draw blood from patients to be used for the aforementioned test. In order to become a phlebotomist, education and phlebotomy training are mandatory. Additionally, depending on the state in which professionals reside, phlebotomy certification and licensure can be required. Phlebotomists commonly work in hospitals, clinics, blood donor centers, inpatient medical facilities, and diagnostic laboratories. Becoming a phlebotomist can be a challenging ordeal, but is a great way to launch a career within the healthcare field. The Bureau of Labor Statistics cites as of August 2014 that the median salary across the United States for phlebotomists is $29,730, or $14.29 per hour, with the lowest 10% of phlebotomists earning a little less than $21,340 per year, and the top 10% of phlebotomists earning a little more than $42,600 per year. Routes into the profession can vary, but for the best odds, we recommend 3 steps. Step number 1, investing in education. Step number 2, completing phlebotomy training. And step number 3, obtaining phlebotomy certification. Phlebotomists typically enter the profession with a post-secondary non-degree awarded by a phlebotomy training program. As such, when choosing a phlebotomy training program and or school, one of the first considerations for aspiring applicants should be to make sure that the program is accredited. Program accreditation is vital because it ensures that students receive the necessary and highest level of training. Individuals seeking education in phlebotomy quickly discover how much the internet is filled with schools and websites offering phlebotomy training programs. Many of these programs commonly advertise their duration to only take a few days or weeks to complete. They also commonly market that they are accredited. However, just because a phlebotomy school is accredited does not necessarily mean that the school is accredited by a body recognized by an employer in your local area. To avoid issues regarding program accreditation, the more popular accrediting organization is the National Accrediting Agency for Clinical Laboratory Sciences, or the NAACLS. However, phlebotomy graduates can also obtain certification through the American Certification Agency for Healthcare Professionals and the National Commission for Certifying Agencies. Visit these organizations' websites or the PhlebotomyEDU360.com website for a list of accredited schools. Phlebotomy training programs are often performed in conjunction with schooling and offer a blended curriculum of didactic and clinical-based teaching. During the didactic component of training, phlebotomy students may register for courses in anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, specimen collection procedures, and forensic toxicology. Conversely, during the clinical component of phlebotomy training, students perform a number of real-time venipuncture procedures and dermal puncture procedures. Venipuncture being the act of drawing blood from a patient's vein, and dermal puncture being the act of drawing blood from a patient's skin without vein penetration. The length of phlebotomy training can range from a few months to a year or more to complete. However, on average, such training programs can be completed within 4 to 6 months' time. Further, upon successful completion of phlebotomy training, programs commonly advertise that aspiring phlebotomists will possess the knowledge of anatomy and physiology of body systems, knowledge of the major areas and departments of the clinical laboratory, knowledge of the importance of specimen collection in the overall patient care system, knowledge of collection equipment, knowledge of types of additives used, knowledge of substances that can interfere with the clinical analysis of blood constituents, knowledge of proper techniques to perform venipuncture, knowledge of proper techniques to perform dermal puncture, knowledge of pre-analytical errors that can significantly alter results, knowledge of requisitioning, knowledge of specimen transportation, knowledge of specimen processing, and last, knowledge of quality assurance. Note that typically phlebotomists are deemed to have underwent quality training if they can present proof of at least 100 venipunctures and 10 documented dermal punctures. Phlebotomy certification is the crown jewel of the phlebotomy profession. As of August 2014, less than 10 states required phlebotomy certification. Additionally, of the states requiring certification, requirements tended to vary from locale to locale. Nonetheless, despite the various certification requirements, a few requirements of Phlebotomy EDU 360 has found to be common include applicants having to be 18 years of age or older, have completed high school or obtained a GED or equivalent, have completed a minimum number of hours from an approved phlebotomy training program, have obtained phlebotomy certification from another certification agency, have worked within the field for at least 1 year, and have successfully performed a minimum number of dermal and venipuncture procedures. Alright folks, that wraps up our video cast on how to become a phlebotomist. By adhering to the steps we have suggested, we guarantee that your odds of securing employment as a phlebotomist will greatly increase. Should you have additional questions, feel free to leave a comment below, or you may visit our site at phlebotomyedu360.com, where you'll find a cornucopia of additional resources. Take care.